chills. God. Okay, so I think she is God. La pureza también. It's a question.
El placer anestesia mi dolor. El dolor anestesia mi placer.
This is the kind of thing where I'm like, I bow to the goddess that is Rosalía. It's like a sigh, like she's exhausted. I carry you with me always, Christ, my diamond, but it's kind of exhausting. Anger. A human can be divine and God can be human. I'm Vicky. I'm a therapist who loves talking about pop music. The truth is, I have been debating for several weeks whether I should do a reaction video to this album or if I should just listen to it on my own time in privacy. And the truth is, I just don't want to wait any longer to listen to it, so I'm just going to do it. I've been a huge Rosalía fan since I heard the song Malamente and I saw the video for it. I saw her live in 2019, and let me tell you, she has it. She has the it factor. She has this voice that just carries. She has this stage presence that is captivating. For me, she is one of the most impressive, just out of this world level talents and artists. This may be me projecting some stuff onto her. I'm sure it is. It may be just that she's very good at evoking these kinds of feelings, which she is. And or it might just be that she really is a once in a generation kind of artist and honestly genius. But either way, I have so much respect for her. I am so obsessed with her. And I do also have some logical arguments about why she's incredible, which I will get to. But first, just to share a little bit about why I've been debating whether to even make this video. And the truth is, I'm just so humbled by her. I'm kind of intimidated at the possibility of sharing publicly my raw and non-academic perspective on her, because there are musicologists out there, there are academics out there that can analyze for you and can tell you what it is about Rosalía that makes her so special, that makes her next level musically, culturally, ambitious, and just amazing. So if you are looking for the academic and scholarly breakdown of what makes this woman so exceptional, please go find those people. This will just be a fan who also happens to be a therapist and is interested in so much about her, and especially the emotions communicated. And I also struggled with the question of sort of how much research to do before listening to this album. I was sort of wondering, should I do a lot of research and maybe risk seeing spoilers, or should I do very little research and then risk missing the core themes and the sort of intentions behind this album? So I've basically just decided to just listen to it with the information that I have, not get too caught up in the sort of details and having watched all the interviews and all of that. And I will, as always, have a discussion video that comes in a few weeks' time. So once I have had a chance to listen to the album more times, to do more research, and once I have read your comments as well, I will bring those ideas together, digest all of that, and then make a discussion video. And if you're somehow watching this from the future, I will link that discussion video below in the video description. So I'm going to share in a bit the approach I'm going to take, like how I'm going to listen to this album. But First, I just want to talk about why I think Rosalía is incredible, because I don't know how this is going to go. And I cannot guarantee to you that this will not just be a couple hours of me with my jaw on the floor. like I cannot guarantee that. So just in case this album just stuns me into silence, I want to start off by sharing some reflections and insights. So at the very least, the beginning of this video will have some substance, even if the rest of it I'm just paralyzed and can't offer that. So one thing I just love about her is that Rosalía is an artist of integration. One way to think of her is an artist who fuses, who brings together different concepts, different genres, different ideas, different feelings in a very unique and intentional way. She fuses the traditional with the modern, the religious with the secular. I mean, flamenco, which she has studied extensively, is already, I guess, one way to think about it is a sort of fusion or a type of music that has drawn from many different cultures. And also, there's something about Spanish culture more generally, which is a really interesting integration of a few different things. In many parts of Spain, religion is something that is integrated pretty seamlessly into everyday life and into the culture in a way that religion simply is not integrated into North American culture, for example, or in the UK, or even in many European countries. I think in a lot of places in the world, there are either religious spaces or non-religious spaces. There are either religious people or non-religious people. But in Spain, something really interesting, really special happens in a lot of places where an individual can sort of, from an external perspective, seem religious and also not religious. It makes sense, you know, if you look at it from the Spanish perspective, due to the history and the way that Catholicism has evolved and existed in the country. So Rosalía is already drawing from Spanish culture, drawing from flamenco. So these two things that already sort of have their own forms of integration. And she takes that even further, like she fuses the flamenco with pop and hip hop. She brings together flamenco visuals and sounds and religious visuals and sounds with modern visuals and sounds. A really good example of this is the video for Malamente. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. It's just like mind-blowingly amazing. And here's the thing, because we live in a world of division. Unfortunately, there is a lot of black and white thinking in the world right now. And so when art and artists can bring together things that some people may see as divided or different or separate and bring them together in a really intentional, really beautiful way, I think that's very special. And my personal value is to acknowledge that, to name that, to lift that up, and to ask for more of that, like to encourage that in the world. There are two things that we need on the planet right now that Rosalía brings to us, and honestly, there are probably more than two, but the two main I want to focus on are, one, creative freedom. We need more creative freedom, creative ambition. We need more humans harnessing the best aspects of being human, because unfortunately, there are also really terrible aspects about being human. But when humans can be human in the best way, in a time of AI and technology and division, that's really special. That's really unique. And really something I want to encourage and name and have more of. And the second thing that she brings that we need more of in our world right now is connection. things that are different, cultures that are different, religions that are different, feelings that are seemingly contradictory, when an artist can bring those together and show us ways to bring them together so that they can coexist and mutually grow, that is so needed right now. And this includes external connection and also internal connection. Even within ourselves, sometimes we can split parts of ourselves, neglect parts of ourselves, dismiss or disown or outsource parts of ourselves. And it's such good, healthy practice if we want to grow and improve as humans, to recognize those parts and to work on bringing them together in healthy and productive ways. So this kind of integration, she's already doing it on the album cover. On this album cover, somehow she looks like a saint or a nun. And at the same time, she also looks nothing like a saint or a nun. Because what kind of nun would have gold lipstick? Or wear a skin-tight shirt? Or have her arms in that position in the shirt? My sort of interpretation so far, without having heard the album, is she's kind of bringing together the spiritual and the sensual. But I'm also kind of wondering, is this about sensuality, or is she perhaps trapped in her clothing? Also, the position she's in feels really intimate and personal and kind of closed in a way, but at the same time, she looks like she's floating in the sky. So already there are these questions being raised of, is it this or is it that, or is it both? And it sort of gets us to think and to reflect and be inspired. I love that there's already so many questions and so many potential contradictions in that way. So in terms of the approach that I'll be taking while listening to this album, I am thinking of doing my usual format where I have the lyrics up, and of course I will pull up translations as and when needed, but I don't want to make a rule about it. Like, I don't want to say I will read the translations before or during or after the song. I kind of want to do it a little bit more intuitively with Rosalía. I just want to let the music sort of guide me, and then as and when needed, I will sort of switch back and forth and sort of do what I'm inspired to do. Also, I want to say that my focus will not just be the lyrics, but the overall experience, because so much can be communicated outside of just lyrics. And that's also the beauty of what Rosalía does. She's breaking barriers, including language barriers, in that way, where she's reaching many people and communicating with many people in unique ways, not just with words. Now, I know 100% that I will miss things. And I know this because, one, I do not speak 14 languages, and I have no idea what percentage of this will be in languages that I do speak. Two, because Rosalía is very meticulous. She is insanely detail oriented. She puts a lot of cultural references and a lot of idiomatic expressions in her music. And in this album specifically, especially, I know she will have the historical references, perhaps spiritual references, and I know that I will miss a lot of that stuff. The third reason I know that I will miss stuff is because she has a level of musical knowledge and musical training that few artists in the world, let alone non-artists, can fully sort of comprehend and appreciate. Her music is incredibly musically and culturally rich. And in this case, my sense is it will also be spiritually rich. So I've basically accepted that there is a lot that I will miss. And I mainly want to listen to this album through the lens of, first of all, just appreciation and awe and respect for what she is doing, also through the lens of emotional expression, and also through the lens of integration, of fusion, because I just know that she will be bringing together different kinds of music, different genres, different feelings in very special ways. And everything that I miss, feel free to let me know in the comments. I will do my best to do some better, more intentional research and come back in a few weeks with a discussion video where I respond to your comments and break down some of this in more depth. So in terms of what I know about this album, I know that she has been doing her research. She has drawn inspiration from historical women, from saints from different religions, and she has integrated their stories and her own and is sort of telling a story that is a kind of blurry line between fiction and nonfiction. I have heard 2 of these songs already. I've heard Berghain because I watched the music video, and I've heard the first song because people in my life just showed them to me and I could not look away. So I've heard those. And both of my listening experiences for the first listen on those was just jaw on the floor, unable to say anything. So this time around, when I listen to those 2, I will try to say some thoughts that I have about them. But like, this is what I'm saying. I can't guarantee that I'm not just gonna be like jaw on the floor for the whole album. So like, let's hope for the best. I still really want to listen to it. And thank you guys for being here and listening to it with me. And also, I sort of watched parts of the Apple interview. I didn't watch it in too much detail or get sort of too intellectually into it, too caught up in the details of it, because I do just want to go into it on the first listen with the more like intuitive approach. Okay, so hopefully that's enough of an integration. Hopefully I've effectively communicated how much respect I have for this artist. I'm nervous to listen because I really want to do her justice, and I hope that I can. Let's get into it. Okay. Sexo, Violencia y Llantas. Sex, violence, and tires. Already bringing together the randomest of things.
¿Quién pudiera vivir entre los dos? Primero amar el mundo y luego amar a Dios. ¿Quién pudiera vivir entre los dos? Primero amar el mundo y luego amar a Dios.
Incredible voice. I love her voice. Also, the way she sang this line like she's in a church, like this sort of religious, spiritual vibes already. Who could live between the two? First, I will love the world, and then I will love God. Already, we're bringing together the religious and the secular. Really interesting, though, how she's saying, first, I'm going to love the world. Like, first, my attention, my priority will be on the secular, and then I'll think about God. Sort of interesting, almost like devaluing God in a sort of way. I don't want to like assume that that's what it is, but there's something question about priorities there. Also, I want to highlight that classical piano at the start, like that is a classically trained pianist playing. Really beautiful.
¿Quién pudiera venir de esta tierra y entrar en el cielo y volver a la tierra? Que entre la tierra
the way she sings this, there's a certain way that harmonies work in certain types of flamenco. She's bringing that in. So already we've got the flamenco, we've got this intense sort of bass, like intensity beat underneath, it feels modern. So we've got the flamenco, we've got the modern, we've got the religious, we've got the secular. She says, who could come from this earth and go to the sky / go to heaven? El cielo could work either way, and then come back to earth.
El primero, sexo, violencia y llantas, deportes de sangre, monedas en gargantas. En el segundo, destellos, palomas y santas, la gracia y el fruto y el peso de la balanza. ¿Quién pudiera vivir entre los dos?
That melody on that line.
Primero amar el mundo y luego amar a Dios.
Primero al mundo. I'm going to love the earth first, I'm going to love the secular first, and God second. Not even second. It's so interesting. She's saying, first I'm going to love the world, and later, at some point in the future, an undefined moment in time, I'm gonna love God. And here, I guess I'm gonna check the translation just to be sure, but I think this is like priority, or like number one, the secular, the worldly, earthly is sex, violence, and tires. So those are the sort of things that are symbolizing the earth. Also, coins in throats, I believe. And then we've got the sort of symbolism of the God and the spiritual. Let's check this translation. Yeah, bloodshed, coins and throats. These are the things you find on earth, right? And then these are the things that you find in the spiritual, in heaven, in the godly. Gorgeous song already, sort of introducing us to this idea of the earthly, the worldly, the things we can see, and then the sort of things beyond us, above us, the spiritual. Reliquia. I believe this means relic. I wonder if it's going to be like relics of saints, which is very much a thing in Catholicism, very much a thing in Spain, or if it will be maybe like an emotional relic or some sort of metaphor for something else. These strings. It's like Bridgerton.
Mis manos en Jerez,
It's melody.
Y mis ojos en Roma. Crecí y el descaro lo aprendí. Por ahí por Barcelona. Perdí mi lengua en París. Mi tiempo en LA. Los hills en Milán.
Los hills.
La sonrisa en UK, pero mi corazón nunca ha sido mío.
Really beautiful. Talking about the things she has lost. Some of these are literal, some of these are figurative. I lost my hands in Jerez. It's a city in the south of Spain. I lost my eyes in Rome, lost my tongue in Paris, lost my heels in Milan, lost my smile in the UK. Wonder what she's saying about the UK there. I grew up and I learned shamelessness somewhere around Barcelona. Barcelona. I love that she learned shamelessness. I think that's part of the reason she's doing what she's doing and breaking so many barriers, because she's shameless, she's fearless. chills. But okay, before we get into that incredible musical transition, I got chills because she says, "My heart has never been mine. I always give it away. I take a piece of me." No, sorry, not I take, you. It's the command form. You take a piece of me and keep it for when I'm not here. I will be your relic. I will be your relic. So she's using it as a symbolism. It is an emotional relic. I mean, perhaps spiritual as well, depending on the relationship and who she's talking to. But this idea of take a piece of me, I will be your relic, is so powerful. And that musical transition, I don't know where I have to go back to hear that again.
Quédatelo pa' cuando no estés, seré tu reliquia. Soy tu reliquia. Seré tu reliquia. Perdí la fe en decir.
This is a little abstract, but the way that music sounds, it's like da 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 da. It almost sounds like there are little tiny relics floating around, like take little pieces of me, keep them because I am your relic. Ooh.
Y la amiga en Bangkok, un mal amor en Madrid y en México el blond, la mala hostia en Berlín y el arte en Granada. Perra nació el coraje, pero el cielo nació en Buenos Aires. En Japón lloré y mis pestañas deshilé y en la ciudad de cristal fue que me trasquilé. Pero el pelo vuelve a crecer, la pureza también, la pureza está en mí y está en Marrakech. No soy una santa, pero estoy blessed.
No soy una santa, pero estoy blessed. I'm not a saint, but I am blessed. There's so much. The code switching there. She's saying blessed in English. So we're already like, we're combining the Spanish with the English. This idea of being blessed without being a saint. This idea of the sainthood, the spiritual with a human. There's like the mixture of like, wait, am I a saint? Am I not a saint? Am I a human? Can I be blessed the way a saint is if I'm not? But she's very plainly actually stating like, yeah, I'm blessed. I'm not a saint, and I'm blessed. Just to take a moment for these lyrics, I like how when she's talking about loss, there's sort of sad losses, like losing faith is potentially a sad thing, but there's also positive and empowering things, like losing a bad love is a good thing. You want to lose the bad loves. The healthy part of you, at least, wants to move on from that. I lost my bad temper in Berlin. Interesting. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the song title Berghain is a famous nightclub in Berlin. Maybe some sort of connection there, some suggestion that I went to Berlin, I went to that nightclub, and just like all my bad moodiness went away. Heaven was born in Buenos Aires. Wow. Oh, I don't think we've reached this line yet, but this is such a good line. Let's go.
Pero mi corazón nunca ha sido mío, yo siempre lo doy. Coge un trozo de mí, quédatelo pa' cuando no estés. Seré tu reliquia, soy tu reliquia.
Playing between I will be your relic, I am your relic. I will be kind of implies like maybe after I'm gone or after I have died, the way that saint relics are kept after they have died usually. But I am your relic is kind of mixing that idea of loss and death with actually the present and being alive. This idea that you can be someone's relic while you are still alive. I'm like, this is so incredible. We are on song 2 and I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. Okay. And the fact she goes back and forth between I will be your relic, I am your relic, I will be your relic, almost like she's unsure about the timing of this, almost like she's blurring the line once again between the future and the present, or saying actually they are one and the same, like both things are true.
Huyendo de aquí, como huí de Florida, somos delfines saltando, saliendo y entrando en el aro escarlata y brillante del tiempo. Es solo un momento, mar eterno y bravo, la eterna canción, ni tiene salida, ni tiene mi perdón.
The page turning, the waves coming, and then this. Oh my God, Rosalía. Skipping to the next song, let's go back. Okay, I think we actually had heard this lyric, but hairs grow back and purity too. What is that? How does she sing that? Pero el pelo vuelve a crecer. La pureza también. It's a question. See, hair grows back. She's not sure about purity. What about purity? She's saying, can purity also grow back? The translation is missing the punctuation, which is essential. It's essential here. Of course, because when you're thinking about religion and spirituality and some of those teachings around don't lose your purity, don't lose your virginity, you can't ever get it back. But she's kind of raising a question. Well, maybe you can. Maybe these rigid rules and teachings of certain religions are actually wrong. Maybe we can break away from some of those overly rigid, overly restrictive ideals. That's insanely powerful. We are dolphins jumping, going in and out of the scarlet and shining hoop of time. Yeah, she is a dolphin in this song, going in and out of the hoop of time, because she's playing with the tenses here. I am your relic, I will be your relic. She's jumping through those hoops, she's going back and forth, and in doing that, she's kind of saying perhaps they are one and the same. Maybe a moment in time is not so different from all time. The song is eternal. So it's in this moment specifically, and also forever. God, this woman. God, Rosalía, thank you. Divinize?
Fruita roja y rodona, aquí la endevina, òbviament és la poma que està prohibida, i si només la mires et salvaries, però sense mossegar. This ghost is still alive, I'm still alive.
Okay, I believe Catalan, the language that they speak in Catalonia, in Barcelona. Then she is jumping to English. Also, this idea that the ghost is still alive, I'm still alive. Is she calling herself a ghost? Talking about a forbidden fruit, the apple, perhaps a biblical reference, Adam and Eve.
Through my body you can see the light. Bruise me up a little of my pride. Know that I was made to divinize. Outside me, inside me. Outside me, inside.
There's so much power in the song and the production and her vocal, that building tension. You can see the light through her body, almost like she is a sort of saint. I guess she's a ghost, right? Bruise me up, inviting violence, perhaps in the form of criticism. I don't know if it's physical or metaphorical violence. There's so much confidence in a line like this. Like, I know that I was made to make things divine. What a crazy line. I'm going to go back and check the translation for this part, but this is a crazy line. Each vertebra reveals a mystery. We are nothing without a spine. The spine is essential to like standing, to moving. And oh God, I just read the next line. Comparing her spine to a rosary. Let's listen. My spine, it's a rosary. That is, so there is this beautiful, very intense comparison of the human body to a religious symbol, a religious experience. And also there's something very intimate here, because imagine two lovers laying together and a lover taking their finger onto the spine, the way that you would maybe take your hands or your fingers to a rosary, and like praying on the spine of your lover. Like there's something very, very, very intimate to that idea. Just want to quickly go to those lyrics. The divine emptiness, an absence that satisfies. I'm always hungry for you. Just kind of playing with these ideas of like something being needed or something missing. Nourish her with coldness. How can you nourish someone with coldness? It seems like a contradiction, right? You would think that you would nourish with warmth. Abstaining is the indulgence. How can you abstain and indulge at the same time? These seem to be contradictory, but she's saying with confidence, yeah, abstaining is the indulgence. Like that's rebellious. It's revolutionary to make statements like this. she's referencing the external and the internal interchangeably, perhaps in a way kind of like before she was interchanging between the sort of future tense and the present tense, almost like she's integrating the ideas of the external and the internal, this idea that she's a ghost on the outside, she's a ghost on the inside.
S'estàndards dibuixant fins a la frontera. No tothom l'entendrà i ella no ho espera. Pensen que és al final, però tot just comença.
I'm going to double check. I was going to say, don't quote me on this. I will double check the lyrics. But I think, don't speak Catalan, by the way. She says, they think that it's the end, or maybe you think, someone thinks that it's the end, but everything is just beginning. And she puts just in English. Like, this is the kind of thing I love about her, where she is integrating. This is such like a good word to integrate if you are going to integrate, because if you're someone who speaks many languages and you're used to casually putting in the word just when you're speaking, there is a sort of rhythm to it. Like, it takes this little beat before you say like, oh, it's just starting. I was just going to say that, just has this little rhythm before you say like the next word that you're going to emphasize. So if you're someone who speaks multiple languages and English is one of them, and you're used to kind of creating that rhythm in your voice, this is exactly the kind of word that would kind of creep out or fall out even when you're speaking other languages, because you've kind of integrated into your physical body almost this sort of the rhythm of using that word before the things that you are going to emphasize. So like, don't know how intentional this is. I'm sure it is intentional, but I think there's also something here about being multilingual that she's capturing, perhaps in a natural and organic way, that this happens. Like, this is real. This code switching. They think it's the end, but it's only just beginning. She's a ghost, right? The lines of her body are fading away. But maybe this is also like the lines that delineate where she as an individual ends are blurry. They're fading away because she is perhaps connected to something greater than her. There are not these rigid lines that hold her into a specific role or definition or even individual person, but rather she is more than that. She is integrated and connected to more things, more people, more feelings than just herself. And not everyone's going to understand that, but she doesn't expect them to. It's building to something. Where are we building towards the end of the song? Is this going to blow up? Is this going to blow up? The orchestral just energy and power there at the end. I mean, this is a song about a sort of power, isn't it? It feels like a saint could be singing this, but she is kind of blurring those lines between a saint and herself, and this idea that someone can have blurry lines of their body. You can sort of see the light through them, so their body is kind of ghost-like and abstract and not physical, and yet they have a spine that you can touch the way that you touch a rosary. And so it's like, how can someone be both of those things? How can someone capture both of those things? Only Rosalía can be and capture those two things. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Porcelana, porcelain. Ooh, so we've already, I mean, in the previous song, we were playing with these ideas of textures, like physical textures, how see-through something is, how a spine feels to the touch. So I'm curious if she's going to play more with this idea of material and the physical. But porcelain's also so delicate and so expensive, right? So let's see what she says.
Mi piel es fina.
My skin is thin. Already?
Es porcelana.
My skin's made of
Rota en la
porcelain.
esquina. Mi piel es fina.
Broken in the corner. Let's see if this is how they translate it. My skin is thin, made of porcelain, cracked at the corner. Okay, powerful imagery.
De porcelana y de llamana, luz que ilumina, ruina divina. El placer anestesia mi dolor, el dolor anestesia mi placer. Lo que tengo, lo que hago, mi valor, y el dolor siempre vuelve a aparecer. En ti no creo, hasta que te derrames en mi pecho, dentro de mi corazón y mi cerebro. Como un cubata cae en mi garganta y se vierte en mi pelo hasta el suelo. Ego sam nil, ego sam lux mundi.
First of all, light is emanating from her skin, light that illuminates. Interesting, because porcelain would be reflecting light, but actually she's saying it's the skin itself that is producing the light. This idea that pleasure numbs my pain and pain numbs my pleasure. Oh my God. This is incredible. We do as humans have, some might say, a drive to live and also a death drive. Some philosophers and psychoanalysts might call it that. So it's these two forces. One is perhaps encouraging pleasure and life, and one perhaps wants to restrict that in some way. So this interaction between pleasure and pain, and this idea that one kind of needs to stop the other. Pleasure needs to come in and tell pain, that's enough pain for today, let's have some pleasure. But likewise, pain needs to come in and tell pleasure, that's enough pleasure for today. Sometimes we have that part of us that says like, no, too much relaxation, like too much hope, too much fun. Let's cut that short a little bit. We don't actually deserve this. Pain always comes back again. This is wild. I don't believe in you until you spill over my chest like a cocktail falling down my throat and pouring through my hair to the floor. The physical imagery there is incredibly powerful. And think of the emotional implications of this too, this idea of another human spilling over to the point of absolutely just consuming every part of you.
Sam nil, ego sam lux mundi. Ego sam nil, ego sam lux mundi.
Album title. It's cool that fear is mentioned because the imagery is quite scary. Contradiction here. I am nothing and I am the light of the world. This is a very godlike, saint-like thing to say, isn't it? I am the light of the world, and at the same time, I am nothing.
Aquí tienes este homenaje. Soy la diva del tigueraje. traje, algo que te pueda coraje. En tu lore falta viaje, pero a ti te sobra equipaje.
It's very subtle, but in the back here, there is that sort of flamenco clapping rhythm, even if it's not in its sort of purest form. It's in the background. It's like she's kind of saying, I'm going to do this really cool stuff production wise, but my love and history with flamenco is always going to be there in the background. Just to go a bit back to those lyrics, this translation here, I brought something that might make you brave your LUX journey. My understanding of dar coraje is not give courage, like literally, it's an expression that kind of means it's going to rub you the wrong way, it's going to piss you off a little bit. So I think what this line is saying is I brought something that might piss you off a little bit. Your lore is lacking journey. I kind of take that to mean like you haven't quite created like a story or a legacy of substance, and I'm gonna bring you something that's gonna piss you off a little bit, maybe because I have the viaje that you are missing.
Te puedo enamorar, yo te puedo inspirar, te puedo envenenar y te puedo curar, yo te puedo elevar, yo te puedo humillar, para bien o para mal, transformar don antes de tearu, kimi ni dai nashi ni sareru mae ni, yabai yatsute omou kana.
Wow, so cool. Is this Japanese? Again, she's talking in a very godlike way. She's saying, like, I can make you fall in love, I can inspire you, I can poison you, and I can cure you. I can raise you up and elevate you, and equally, I can humiliate you. Like, someone with a lot of power. That's the only way you can do all of this, right? If you're all powerful, that you can do that all at once. Just gonna check these lyrics we're about to hear so I know what we're hearing. I'll throw away my beauty before you have the chance to ruin it is really an empowered stance. It's about wanting to have control over your own beauty and sort of saying, I'm gonna do what I want with it before you have a chance to touch it and ruin it. I'm the queen of chaos is an amazing thing for Rosalía to say, because that's what God decided. I didn't decide to be this way. God made me this way. And again, maybe she's talking from a saint's, like an actual saint's that perspective that she has researched. But the fact she's singing this with her own voice in her own style is blurring that line of like, are you, Rosalía, the queen of chaos? Because that's what God decided? Or are you telling us a story about a historical character here? We don't know, right?
Traje algo pa' que tú te relajes. Aquí tienes este homenaje. Soy la diva del tigueraje. Traje algo que te pueda coraje. En tu lore falta viaje, pero a ti te sobra equipaje.
Makes sense why you would be scared of this kind of all-powerful being, right? I like took a breath and opened my mouth to say, this sounds like such classical music vibes, like almost like a Vivaldi-esque classical music. And then she brought in the flamenco claps before I had a chance to say this is A. She's like, nope, it's A plus B, and actually it's more than that. It's very subtle, the kind of little percussion in the back. And now there's a religious chorus. Orchestra, the classical, the flamenco, the chorus, the religious, the spiritual. She's really evoking that fear in this song, right? A creature made of porcelain that is all powerful and radiates light is scary. Like, it makes sense that all the fear is being evoked. Mio Cristo Piange Diamanti. Okay, I've just looked up what the title means, which is My Christ Cries Diamonds. It's really interesting because a lot of the Catholic imagery in Spain, especially around Semana Santa, the Holy Week, there's very graphic imagery, very detailed imagery of Jesus, the Virgin Mary, and saints. And a lot of times there are tears involved in ways that maybe other forms of religion are not this graphic, they're not this just raw and emotional with their imagery. There are saintly images with actual tears. And so I wonder if she's referencing that, but she's saying diamonds. So already there's another fusion of this sort of religious cultural reference and perhaps the materialistic and the elegant and modern in a way. Okay, I'm seeing this is this Italian? I'm just gonna read some lyrics first so I have a sense of where we're going. Or actually, no, I'm just gonna play it and then I'll come back to the lyrics.
Sei l'uragano più bello che io abbia mai visto, il migliore dei dolmen si alzarebbe per te.
Gorgeous.
Fai tremare la terra e si innalzi al tuo fianco, ma quando non riuscire ad elevarsi sei tu.
Is it you? Is that what she's asking?
Imperfetti, agenti del caos, ci smontiamo.
Is it you, imperfect agent of chaos? If this is what she's saying, the contrast is very impressive. How insanely gentle this singing and this melody is. And she's talking about an imperfect agent of chaos. Let's double check this. Wow, you're the most beautiful hurricane. Hurricane. How is hurricane? How is this word in the first line of such a sweet, almost lullaby-esque song? You make the earth tremble. Yeah, is it you? Imperfect agent of chaos. We dismantle ourselves like myths, my king of anarchy. My favorite reckless star. That's a beautiful thing to say to a lover. I'm sort of imagining this describing someone that the singer, that the narrator has actually a lot of love and admiration for, while also seeing, recognizing, and perhaps even appreciating their flaws. When you cry, gather your tears, whatever the crime may be.
Come imiti mio re dell'anarchia, mio astro imprudente, preferito quando piangi raccogli le tue lacrime e bagna la tua fronte, qualunque sia il crimine. Mio Cristo piange diamante, piange, piange diamante.
Cries, diamonds. The fact she's repeating the word cries. You know, there's something about how she's singing in this song where I'm actually getting a really strong image of Rosalía herself standing in like intimately close to her microphone, and I can just hear the like the way she's singing and the way that emotion is coming through in her voice. I can kind of imagine these facial expressions. I'm imagining this sort of pained, like you know, when singers really physically get into what they're singing and their face transforms, their whole body language kind of leans into the love, the pain, the complexity of what they're expressing. On this song in particular, her voice sounds very close to my ear. I can sort of picture her very close to the microphone, very comfortably expressing herself on this song.
Mio Cristo in diamante, ti porto sempre.
My Christ in diamonds? Let's check. Yeah, my Christ in diamond. Christ is crying diamonds and is in a diamond. Maybe that's how she's carrying him always. Maybe there's a symbolic ring, piece of jewelry, holding this lover, this love that she's calling my Christ, very close to her always.
Sempre ti porto sempre, ti porto, ti porto.
The way she releases her breath at the end of this line.
Sempre ti porto sempre.
It's like a sigh, like she's exhausted of carrying. I carry you with me always, Christ, my diamond, but it's kind of exhausting. I'm like, part of me is kind of giving up. Part of me needs to release something because of it.
Ti porto sempre, sempre. Sempre.
Chills. Chills.
La verità è che entrambi abbiamo macchia e nessuno dei due può sfuggire di l'altro.
Really cool how in this part where there's like a stepping up musically and vocally happening, she's going to reveal the truth here. Maybe in the sort of quieter early parts of the song, she hasn't fully given us the full truth. Maybe the truth is coming out in that releasing sigh, where she's kind of saying, oh, like, actually, there's more to the story. Like, I love you, you're a hurricane that I love. But there's more to say, more to feel here. The truth is that we both have stains. Yeah, we're both imperfect. Neither of us can escape the other. Is this the power of love? Is this codependency? Is this a healthy dynamic? There's always something of you that I still don't know, like the dark side of the moon. Well, if you have that feeling with someone where you just get this feeling that you're missing something. There's this sort of mystery to them that can be exciting and attractive, but it can also be exhausting. There can be a sort of like, oh, like this is really hard because I don't feel like I fully get you. How many punches were given to you that should have been hugs? Maybe referencing abuse in this person's past, which would explain a sort of mysterious aura, a sort of vibe of maybe not getting the full story, of sensing that there's more darkness, there's more layers to the personality. And how many hugs have you given that could have been punches? She's playing so much in this album with like the interaction between two concepts. She's saying pleasure causing pain, pain and pleasure, those sorts of interactions. Now we have hugs and punches. This narrative is sort of giving me this feeling of someone having trauma in their past, physical abuse in their past, where affection, like true affection, was lacking. And now maybe their way of dealing with it is to offer a lot of affection, to be really kind, to be really tolerant, even in moments where really they could have easily lashed out. They could have had a lot of anger. They probably had a right to be angry. I'm not saying they have a right to be violent necessarily, but yeah, this interaction between the past, like what was experienced emotionally in the past, and how we can take that to inform our behaviors and our feelings in the present. Really powerful. Love that cannot be chosen and cannot be let fall. I feel like this might be Rosalía writing this in Spanish, translating it to Italian, and somewhere along the lines, the expression dejar caer, literally to let fall, has been lost a little in translation here, because dejar caer is like to drop or to like let go of. So this idea that there's a love that cannot be chosen and yet cannot be let go of. Like that is a powerful love, that it just comes to you, consumes you. It is what it is. And you don't really have the option to let go of it. You can't just decide to not be in love with this person anymore. Gravity is graceful and grace is grave. Ooh.
C'è sempre qualcosa di te che ancora non so come il lato nascosto della luna una volta svelato, so che non lo dimenticherò. Quanti pugni ti hanno dato che avrebbero dovuto essere abbracci, e quanti abbracci hai dato che avrebbero potuto essere pugni.
This is the part about the punching and the hugging, and there's kind of a punching little bursts in the music. Also, the dramatic way with which she is singing this is theatrical. It feels like a moment in a musical or in an opera where someone might slow down and sing the same note throughout the sentence to sort of create tension, to create emphasis.
Avrebbero potuto essere pugni, mio caro amico.
And the music really emphasizes the point.
L'amore che non si sceglie, non si lascia cadere, mio caro amico, con te la gravità graziosa, la grazia è grave, il mio Cristo piange diamanti.
My Christ cries diamonds.
Piange diamanti.
Sounds like she's crying.
Mio Cristo in diamante ti porto.
She's like out of breath.
Porto sempre, sempre ti porto sempre. Ti porto
I love that, love that, love that, love that. Going back to the end of that. What the heck? Last note.
That's gonna be the energy. And then
I look, if you've watched any of my reaction videos, you know I have to repeat parts that I absolutely adore. I'm sorry, I'm gonna replay it. Fast forward if you don't want to appreciate this again. But her voice comes in at the end.
that's gonna be the energy. And then
and you can hear her like her voice along with the actual music saying the wow, that's going to be the energy. Got it. We got the energy. There's so much energy, different kinds and forms and flavors of energy in this song because it is so sweet in moments. There's true kind of gentle love coming through in certain moments. There is real pain in certain moments, like the pain that the lover carries inside of them, knowing the pain that the other has gone through and has tolerated and carried in themselves. There's power, especially in that orchestral music towards the end. And it does feel operatic and kind of like a musical in the storytelling aspects of it, which clearly you can tell Rosalía was planning all along. She's like, that's going to be the energy. And then we're just going to boom, like end on that strong note, make the point. Just, wow, just so good. This was so good. I love that ending. Love, 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 love. Wow. And I love that her speaking voice, after all the playing she does with her voice throughout the song, to have her authentic speaking voice here is somehow equally as powerful as all that orchestral stuff, all that artistic and emotional stuff. Oh, I just get so excited about Rosalía. Okay, this is Berghain. This is the video I have seen. Let's get into it. I'll share some thoughts as we go. Okay, 5 seconds in, I'm pausing to say, if you haven't watched the video, the music video for this, go watch it. There is, speaking of fusion and integration, there is something I have not like ever seen and could not think to imagine before, which is this coming together of a very traditional Spanish household, a Spanish kitchen in all its authentic energy, a figurine of the Virgin Mary, totally normal. And then there's a whole orchestra, sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, orchestra in the house and following her around, which is like, who thinks to bring together these things? Rosalía. That's who brings it. And also the orchestral part is so furious, like the strings are furiously conveying anger, which reminds me I should check these lyrics because I have actually not, I don't know what this song is actually saying. His fear is my fear. His rage is my rage. His blood is my blood. The flame penetrates my brain like a lead teddy bear. Talk about contrasting imagery. I keep many things in my heart. That's why my heart is so heavy. I think she was asked in the Apple interview about the title of this song, and I forget what the exact meaning of the word is other than the Berlin nightclub, but she said something about a sort of labyrinth or a forest of the mind, how sometimes we can get trapped in this internal world. And just from this set of lyrics, I wonder if she's describing a sort of abusive relationship where there is some sort of dysfunctional relationship dynamic happening, because if the other person's fear is your fear, their rage is your rage, then there's not a healthy separation of individuals, but rather either a codependency or like a meshing of some sort. And the fact she's describing having a heavy heart and this like very like the contrast here of this imagery, I can see how that might be a sort of mentally confusing place to be when you're not sure, okay, what feelings are mine versus the other person's? How do I know if the person is burning me emotionally or offering a teddy bear hug to me? How can I tell the difference of what is healthy versus unhealthy, what is safe versus unsafe? That is a very confusing place to be mentally, and explains that intense orchestral background, because it's like da 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 da, you're like racing and stuck in that mental maze. The forcefulness of that singing makes sense with these lyrics, right? His fear is my fear. His rage is my rage. His love is my love. Yeah, okay, yeah, she said that before. Yeah, this is why it's so confusing, right? Like love and fear and rage are very intertwined, very mixed. I'm glad I'm actually looking at these lyrics now, because in just watching the music video with no translation, I did not get any of this. Comparing herself to sugar that knows how to melt and that melts in the heat. When you come, that's when I leave. Yeah, this is a person who, for whatever reason, does not feel safe or able to be a full present human with their full emotions, needs, voice, physical presence, ability to take up space, maybe because the relationship or the other person brings the sort of strength and bitterness like coffee. They bring the heat, that rage and that uncertainty. And so this idea that being in a relationship with this person makes you this sugar cube that just melts away and dissolves and does no longer really actually exist in its full form. That's really powerful imagery. maybe it's because only through divine intervention can you attempt to heal this kind of dynamic. Like, that is how bad it is. Coffee plus the sugar cube, codependency plus blurred emotional lines. Like, well, it's going to take divine intervention to put the sugar cube back together. It's going to take divine intervention for someone to get out of this. Perhaps that's what it feels like. It would take a huge, powerful force. It's the only way to escape this kind of feeling.
The only way to save us is through divine intervention. The only way I will be saved. Divine intervention.
I'll fuck you till you love me. I'll fuck you till you love me. I'll fuck you till you love me. 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 Love me. Till you love me. I'll fuck you till you love me. I'll fuck you till you love me. Love me. Love me. Love me. Love me.
This is a very violent thing to say. I think this might be a reference to something Mike Tyson said. Is that right? Don't quote me on that. I'm going to double check that. But this does sound like someone who is the so-called coffee in this dynamic, something they might say, which is very abusive and predatory and not okay, to say the least. It feels like this song is talking about a very, very painful relationship dynamic. And it does make me wonder how much of this story is referencing a historical figure's dynamic with another person, or someone's relationship to religion. Could we take it that far? Some forms of religious trauma might come from a dynamic with an authority or powerful figure that encourages you to lose yourself in that dynamic, to melt like a sugar cube and lose your sense of agency and be controlled by something or someone else. So I don't know exactly what the inspiration is, but it's certainly painting a really powerful, really unsettling, really unhealthy dynamic here. La Perla. Okay, so La Perla is a pearl, right? But un perla or una perla can also be this sort of sarcastic use of the word pearl, as in, what a gem of a person you are, where actually what you're saying is you're kind of an a-hole. You're not actually a gem in the good sense of the word, but you're so uniquely bad and just horrible. So let's see how she uses this. Wow, sounds... But okay, just that intro sounds like a happy sort of beach tune, doesn't it? Like it's referring to a pearl and an oyster, and we're gonna talk about like the sort of beauty, pretty aspects of the ocean and the ocean life.
Ladrón de paz, campo de minas para mi sensibilidad. Playboy.
Okay, because I'd heard some chatter about this song, I had a feeling that it would not be the positive that positive message. But really cool that she's starting with the very, very light-hearted, gentle music and gentle voice here, where actually what she's saying is, you are a thief of peace. You're a minefield for my sensitivity, a playboy, a champion. Yeah, campeón, champion is being used sarcastically, I'm assuming. Let's hear how she sings it.
Un campeón gasta el dinero que tiene y también el que no.
Spends the money he has and the money he doesn't. Yup.
Él es tan encantador, estrella de la sin razón.
Ooh, I love the melody on that.
Medalla olímpica de oro, el más cabrón.
El más cabrón. Olympic gold medal for the biggest jerk, for the biggest cabrón. Love that.
Tienes el podio de la gran desilusión.
Is that podium? He's got the podium of the great disappointment. Yeah, here's your medal for being the greatest disappointment of all time. Like, you win a prize for it because you're so good at it.
La decepción local rompe corazones nacional. Un terrorista emocional, el mayor desastre mundial.
She just drops these insults that rhyme perfectly. That's so catchy. Un terrorista emocional, emotional terrorist. Love that. And love how you can kind of she's chosen words here that are more international than just Spanish speaking, right? Most people could read this and sort of see, emotional terrorist. It's like she wants to make this phrase in particular as accessible as possible, so as many people as possible know this is what the guy I'm singing about is. He's the local disappointment and also the national heartbreaker. An emotional terrorist, greatest disaster in the world. He's a pearl. No one trusts him. He's a pearl, one to be very careful with.
Es una perla, nadie se fía. Es una perla, una de mucho cuidado.
One to be very careful with in terms of this guy. It's like, you gotta be careful because you don't want to get too close, actually.
El rey de la 13-14 no sabe lo que es cotizar.
So the king of 1314, hacer la 13-14, it means to play tricks, to manipulate. So this is one of those things that can get lost in translation. But what matters, I think what is universally understood here is she's just dropping the insults.
Él es el centro del mundo. Y
She
después
just-
lo demás.
I feel like she just pulled out a knife from the sheath.
Él es el centro del mundo.
She's prepping her
Y ya
sword.
después lo demás quedará. Por fin vas a terapia, vas al psicólogo, también psiquiatra. Pero ¿de qué te sirve si siempre mientes más que hablas ya?
Love this. You're finally going to therapy. You're going to the psychologist and the psychiatrist, kind of suggesting like you need a lot of help. And actually, it's kind of counterintuitive because sometimes if you see too many people with too many different perspectives, of course, every individual is different and a lot of people benefit from getting support from different places. But sometimes if you get sort of too much because like you're in such desperate need of help, or someone believes that you really, really need some serious help, you might sort of overdo it and go for too many. That might feel like there are too many cooks in the kitchen, and it might actually feel counterproductive to your actual progress. But what's the most counterproductive to his progress here is that he lies more than he talks. So First of all, love that, because the idea that you could lie more than you talk, it's like, don't you have to talk? I mean, logically speaking, you have to talk to lie. But she's saying you lie so much, somehow you find a way to lie even without speaking. And then if you're lying to your therapist and your psychiatrist, then obviously you're definitely not going to get the help that you need.
Un monumento a la deshonestidad. No me da
I'm going to make a monument for you for your dishonesty. Yeah.
pena. Quien queda contigo se cena. Siempre se autoinvita. Si puede, vive en casa ajena. Refracandante, tremendo desastre.
Great. They're so good. There's so many good insults here. This part is so catchy.
Refracandante, tremendo desastre. Dirá que no fue él, que fue su doppelganger.
He'll tell you it wasn't even him. He'll blame it on his doppelganger. Just someone who is not able to take any responsibility for their actions. This is whoever spends time with you gets emotionally drained. Translation is whoever stays with you gets drained. I think both of those work.
Bueno, es que, claro.
Well, that's cool. It's like she's telling a joke, like, but
Que fue su doppelganger.
Bueno, es que,
maybe she's laughing at him because of how ridiculous this person sounds.
claro, no referirse a él como icono sería para él una narrativa reduccionista, ¿me entiendes?
So this person has an insane ego. Not referring to him as an icon would be a reductive narrative. Like he wants you at minimum to refer to him and view him as an icon at all times. He will accept nothing less. Like imagine the level of ego on this character that she's describing.
Le préstesla, no lo devolverá. Ser bala perdida es su especialidad.
Bala perdida. Being a lost bullet. I feel like this is an idiomatic expression that I don't know if someone knows in the comments. Let us know whether or not it's an idiomatic expression. This does make sense. The idea of like a bullet being lost, like maybe someone who misses the mark or disappears in a way where you just like have no control over it because a bullet is shooting out so quickly. If it's lost, there's really no hope of catching it or making sense of it or helping it go in any other direction. Never lend him anything. He'll never return it, including your love, your time. This is a warning. This is a warning to other women, other people who might be tempted to be with this person.
Lealtad y la fidelidad es un idioma que nunca entenderá.
Loyalty and faithfulness, languages he'll never understand. He forgot to learn the languages. He doesn't speak these ones. Also cool that she is playing with the idea of languages while she's kind of saying he doesn't even understand the languages of loyalty and faithfulness. And here I am singing in 14 different languages. It's a pretty boss move to be making that comparison here.
Su masterpiece, su colección de bras. Si le pides ayuda, desaparecerá.
He has a collection of bras. Amazing. If you ask him for help, he'll disappear. I mean, the character she's painting, it sounds like if you ask him for anything, he will disappear.
La decepción local rompe corazones nacional. Un terrorista emocional, el mayor desastre mundial. Es una perla, nadie se fía. Es una perla, una de mucho cuidado.
cool she's ending on the words mucho cuidado, like warning, like be careful, like con mucho cuidado. So, I mean, some people might interpret this as being about her ex, in which case this is a label, or some people might take it as a label placed on an actual human being, and her sort of saying, stay away, stay away from this person. This is what they did to me. This is my experience with them. And more likely than not, they will do the same to you. So just be very, very, very careful with this little gem of a person. A really good song. Okay, taking a break. I will be back later. Okay, we're back and I'm ready for the rest of this album. By the way, while I was gone, this part, these two lines were stuck in my head. It's pretty catchy, isn't it? Okay, we've got the next song, which is Mundo Nuevo, and I'm already seeing this is short. Oh, lyrically short, 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. New World.
Quisiera yo renegar.
Gorgeous, gorgeous melody. She does the powerful and then the delicate. Oh, the fuzziness.
Por ver si en un mundo nuevo volver ciega en un mundo nuevo ay, si encontraba más verdad.
She's pronouncing this how they do in the south of Spain, where they drop the D at the end, verdad, instead of verdad. I would like to renounce this world entirely in order to live again, to go to a new world, to see if I could find more truth. It's kind of cool because she's not specifying which world is this world that she wants to leave. And she's also not telling us what the new world that she's hopeful could offer her more truth would be. So given the themes we've already sort of seen so far around like the heavenly world and the earthly world, it kind of raises the question, which one do you feel that you're in? Which one does the speaker feel that she is in? And which one does she want to go to that she hopes would actually have more truth? Is she alive and living on earth and she wants to leave and go to heaven and connect with that world? Or does she feel like she's in heaven and actually may want to leave to come to the earth again? She had a lyric before, didn't she, about like starting from the earth, going to heaven, and then coming back to earth. Interesting. song. And I kind of like that the new world is vague in that way, up for interpretation. De madrugá.
Como que de madrugá, 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 de madrugá. La cruz en el pecho calibra mi cuerpo para desquitarme. Yo tengo derecho. La cruz en el pecho calibra mi.
There's a lot of sounds going on. There's the panting in the background, there's the clapping, and the there's something about how the deep sort of bass like harmony is going up and down in the notes. It reminds me of a song on her previous album, Motomami, which I'm blanking on what it is right now. I'm sort of in the moment with this song. She's got her religious symbolism, the cross on her chest. Ooh, calibrates her body. I've got every right to get even. Really cool, because a lot of times this sort of religious figure that might have a visible cross on their chest would, in theory, be preaching values around not fighting fire with fire, not trying to get even. So this idea that there's a religious like or religious adjacent figure who on the one hand does have the cross on their chest, but on the other hand believes in revenge is really interesting.
De vuelta.
Is this Russian? Just gonna do a quick search what language this is. Ukrainian. Okay, so Ukrainian, perhaps inspired by a Ukrainian saint. So the chains are too heavy from looking back so much. This is rich with symbolism, the idea that you're carrying chains and you're also looking back. So raises all these questions. What are the chains that you're carrying, and what were they tying you to or meant to tie you to? Why are they so heavy? Why are you looking back? What are you looking back to? Also, why does looking back make the chains heavier? So interesting. So the music sounds very vengeful. There's a lot of foreshadowing in that music. Yeah, and this tracks, I'm not seeking revenge. Revenge is seeking me. Got 1,000 tongues of fire. That is very intense. All on my hair. Are they burning this woman? Is this like a witch trial? I also like this phrase with the imagery before, because if someone's wearing the cross, and they get asked, well, how can you be wearing the cross and seeking revenge? Those things are contradictory. It's cool to imagine their response being, well, I'm not seeking revenge. Revenge is seeking me. They get to sort of remove any sense of responsibility from themselves. This is a really powerful song. It feels like we're marching into battle to get revenge. And I just realized I said we are marching into battle, but it does feel that this song feels like it's kind of gathering a community, if not a mob or army, to sort of let's go get them. And now I'm sort of wondering if the fire in her hair is just a superpower thing, just the visual that comes with someone who is this angry, almost like they're shooting their own fire out of their own body. I really enjoyed the energy of this one. Dios es un stalker. God is a stalker. I mean, it's an interesting concept. If God is ever present and he sees your every move, in theory, he is following you everywhere like a stalker. Stalker also has the sort of negative connotation of the stalker probably wants to do something bad. Like the intentions are not good in watching you all the time. So it's an interesting concept. Don't know if this is actually what it will be about. Let's see.
Yo te sigo, te improvisa, si va lento o si vas deprisa, nunca te enteras que soy tu sombra y esa es mi manera de demostrar que te he pensado y te he extrañado. Yo me sé tus deseos indeseables. Mi aliento es el viento que te roza el pelo y por amor estoy detrás de ti voy. Yo que siempre espero que vengan a mí.
It's almost like spy music, like I'm following you, I'm behind you, and I'm following you due to love. This is a love gesture, the fact that I'm your shadow and I'm following you. And I'm just showing you that I thought of you and I missed you. Just reading this chorus we're about to come up to. Oh, interesting. So this speaker is someone who maybe usually gets stalked, but today they're choosing to do the stalking to make him fall in love. Interesting.
Por amor estoy detrás de ti voy. Yo que siempre espero que vengan a mí. No me gusta hacer intervención divina, pero a mi baby yo lo voy a stalkear para poderlo enamorar. Quiero a mi manera.
So I'm doing it to make them fall in love with me. It's not divine intervention. I'm just stalking you. This is borderline creepy though. Like if someone is insisting on following you this much to make you fall in love, and it's this persistent, and they're even mentioning divine intervention or forces out of this world, then that's kind of scary. It means they're considering using really powerful, perhaps uncomfortably powerful ways to find you and follow you.
Y a donde sea, mi silencio golpea, dueña del mundo y de las ideas. Todo el mundo me quiere de su lado, tengo el buzón explotado, vivo en las nubes arriba y el diablo presta apretado. Me encanta acercar.
Another cool English word, and then directly after translated. This is the way she sings this line is such a flex, where she's like, everyone wants me by their side, and the way she sings it, she's like, yeah, everyone wants me by their side. There's so much attitude in that line. So just the idea that God might be saying, yeah, everyone wants me by their side. My inbox is exploding. It's a really cool way to talk about God. She's kind of challenging really traditional values around not using the Lord's name in vain and not making jokes about God, because God is someone we need to take seriously and respect. And she's just poking fun here. She's giving God a personality. I'm assuming that God is talking. And it's a really interesting way to tell the story. Ooh, cool that the devil is also being mentioned. And it sounds like the devil and God are competing to see which one of us reaches you first. I'm the labyrinth you can't escape. I think this is what she was talking about with Berghain, the sort of mental labyrinth that sometimes you can't escape. Cool.
Zona explotado, vivo las nubes arriba y el diablo presta apretado. Me encanta hacer carreras con el tiempo, a ver cuál de los dos llega antes a ti. No soy una zorra de un momento, soy el laberinto del que no puedes salir.
Feminine. The translation here is whore. Interesting to use the feminine word for fox, which, yeah, does translate to whore, but the fact it's feminine is cool. So maybe she's playing with the traditional ideas that God is a man. It's yet another challenge to those traditional beliefs about God, right? As a masculine figure. And she's saying, actually, maybe God is a stalker and also a woman. And also, I'm going to make jokes about his inbox.
Detrás de ti voy, yo que siempre espero que vengan a mí. No me gusta hacer intervención divina, pero a mi baby yo lo voy a stalkear para poderlo enamorar. Detrás de ti voy, yo que siempre he estado tan mal acostumbrada y la omnipresencia me tiene
Okay, I have to go back because it ends right. Okay, so I think she is God. Not only is she owning that this is a feminine figure, she's speaking from the point of view of God. My omnipresence leaves me exhausted. It's really funny. It's a cool way to blur the lines between God and herself, and is really humanizing God. This idea that, yeah, God can be omnipresent and can also get exhausted. This is a really fun concept. She's really playing with it in a really cool way. Okay, next we have La Yugular. Just did a quick search, and I think this is jugular, as in the really important jugular vein in the neck. And I also saw a part of the Apple interview where she is asked about this, and she talks about a woman that is venerated in Islam who used to talk about her relationship with God being about God himself, if I'm remembering that right. So let's see.
¿Cuántas peleas recuerdan las líneas de mis manos? ¿Cuántas historias caben metidas en 21 gramos? Tú que tan lejos y a la vez más cerca. Tú que tan lejos y a la vez más cerca que mi propia vena yugular.
Jugular vein. Incredible how her voice so smoothly transitions between languages. How many fights do the lines on my hands remember? Once again, referencing violence, the scars holding the memory of those fights. You are far away, and yet you are closer than my own jugular vein. Ooh, who is she talking to? Talking to God, perhaps. God feeling like he is within her physically and emotionally. For you, I would destroy the sky. Really powerful chorus here.
Mira, yo no tengo tiempo para odiar a Lucifer. Estoy
I don't have time to hate Lucifer. I'm too busy.
demasiado ocupada amándote a ti un nivel. Mi corazón que siempre está en una carrera. Estoy cortando las flores antes de que sea primavera. Donde hasta los caballos.
Okay, I'm just quickly Googling who Undibel is. Google is telling me it's a term from the Andalusian Romani language, meaning God. So there's a real redirection of priorities here. I don't have time to hate the devil because all of my energy is going to loving God.
Míos bien amarrados, la sangre y la suerte, aquí mano arrastrado. Tu amor es una avalancha, cae por su propio peso.
Just want to take a moment to appreciate the use of the instruments here. Let's listen again.
Desde que sea primavera, donde hasta los caballos, los míos bien amarrados, la sangre y la suerte, aquí mano arrastrado. Tu amor es una avalancha.
You've got the deep sounding strings like the bass. You've got the lighter sounding strings, violins, almost having a conversation, kind of going back and forth. You've got percussion that sounds like the horses. My horses are tied up tight.
Cae por su propio peso.
And then just the very light guitar that is so gentle, so sweet. Like just in the span of, I don't know how many seconds that is, there's so many different kinds of sounds supporting the messages and the emotions here. It's really cool. We really don't see this much variety and diversity in such a small pop song, right? In the pop song format, we don't usually get so much so carefully.
Cae por su propio peso al existir. Ayer, hoy y mañana.
Your love is an avalanche that collapses under its own weight just by existing. And here's the chorus we're about to hear.
Niebla que me quiero hundir. Menagle kuda merusame. Menagle ahlen ulgahim.
Just a comment on the way she's singing in Arabic. So I'm sure that there are musicians, musicologists, Arabs out there that can speak to this much better than I can. But I will say I have listened to some Arabic music in my day. A lot of the Arabic music I am familiar with, sung by women, often does have a really delicate, really beautiful aspect, and a lot of femininity to the voice. And at the same time, Arab women, the Arab women that I know, are strong women. There's a lot of strength there. And she's kind of embracing something that's sort of clicking for me just from my experience. She's kind of capturing here the delicacy and the femininity, but these lyrics are insanely powerful. For you, I would destroy the sky. Like someone hears this voice and they wouldn't expect this woman to be able to destroy the sky. She would tear down hell. There's so much power and so much delicacy all at the same time. It's really beautiful.
Yo que pone el mundo y el mundo cabe en mí. y ocupo el mundo.
I'm sorry, just got chills. Wow. I fit inside the world and the world fits inside of me. Yeah, you have to be really effing powerful for both things to be true.
El mundo me ocupa a mí.
I occupy the world and the world occupies me. Cool interaction between her and the world. Oh, got some good lyrics coming up. Let's just leave this up for the next part.
Pon un haiku y un haiku ocupa un país cabe en una astilla ocupa la galaxia entera, cabe en una gota de saliva, ocupa la quinta avenida, cabe en un piercing ocupa una pirámide, y una pirámide cabe en un vaso de leche, y un vaso de leche ocupa un ejército, y un ejército cabe metido en una pelota de golf, ocupa el Titanic, cabe en un pintalabios, ocupa el cielo la espina, una espina ocupa un continente, y un continente no cabe en él, pero él cabe en mi pecho ocupa su amor, en su amor me quiero perder.
I need to process.
7 heavens, big deal. I want to see the 8th heaven, 10th heaven, 1000th heaven. You know, it's like break on through the other side. It's just like going through one door. One door isn't enough. A million doors aren't enough.
Oh my. I'm speechless. I need a second. Give me a second. I'm just going to look at this again. Wow, I'm so glad that I left this up so there was no need to pause and there was nothing missed while we were going through this and it was building and building. That was so lucky. Or Rosalía used her magic and like communicated with me that that's what needed to happen in this moment. Let me tell you what I'm feeling right now. I don't want to go through here and unpick every little lyric and like, I feel like this as a whole, as a vibe, as a full verse, as a building energy has said everything that it needs to say. I don't even need to touch it. It is perfect. It is something that I will need and will desperately want to come back to and listen to again and again and again. The power here is insane. The power of this woman. We could feel it, right? We could sense it in those earlier lyrics, in the little hints in the music where it was building and building. But here, this woman, I'm getting like chills talking about it. This woman unleashes her power and you can just feel it. I don't know if this outro is an actual recording from something. That would be cool to maybe research and see if there are any links. But like, what a perfect piece of music. Well done. Flamenco claps, all the claps. Truly, like this is the kind of thing where I'm like, I bow to the goddess that is Rosalía. I thank you is like, doesn't even feel like enough, but just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Love it. Love. Okay. We're moving to the next song. I think I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready for the next song. I don't know if I'm ready for any other music for the next 6 months after that. And we still have 4 more songs to go. Okay, hopefully we can get through this. Gonna readjust my seat. Gonna drink some water. Everybody hydrate when you're listening to Rosalía. Okay, next song. The wine.
Mi luz la prenderé con el Rolls Royce que quemaré. Sé que mi paz yo me ganaré cuando no quede nada que perder. Ya no quiero perlas ni caviar.
Saying I don't want pearls anymore. Yeah, because you keep getting those gems that are not actually good pearls. But she's saying it like a symbol for materialism. Like, I don't want pearls or caviar. I don't want riches. I'll kindle my light with the Rolls Royce that I'll burn. Is, wow, that's such a cool line. Yeah, it's just this general vibe of I'm gonna let go of the material and I just want your love to be my capital. If I have you, I don't need anything else. This is the kind of decision making in love that can be applied to all kinds of love. Love of God, it could be love for another human, maybe even love for yourself, going through this process of letting go of the material things and just focusing on what truly matters, on love.
Amor será mi capital. ¿Y qué más da si te tengo a ti? No necesito nada más. Sauvignon Blanc a tu lado. Mi futuro
French accent.
será dorado. Ya no tengo miedo del pasado. Está en el fondo de mi copa de Sauvignon Blanc.
I'm no longer scared of the past because it's in the bottom of my wine glass. You know, she's singing with so much sweetness to me, and maybe this is because the power from the previous song was so satisfying to me. There's a part of me sort of craving more power, potentially like aggression, not in a bad way, but like I'm kind of craving more of that energy. There's something about the way she's singing this and this kind of being super in love that feels almost a little sickly sweet after the previous song, where I'm like, okay, love. There's a part of me that's kind of scared because she has, I think this is what's happening. In so many songs, she has dropped so many surprises where I am a little bit on edge. I don't know if the sickly sweet is going to turn into rage and aggression, or there's going to be a huge beat drop, or some insane instrument is going to come in. But I am on edge. So I'm just sharing that at this stage in the song. It might just be a really pure, nice love song, but I'm a little skeptical.
En mi copa de Sauvignon Blanc.
It's a pretty melody.
A mi Dios escucharé, mis Jimichu yo las tiraré, mi porcelana la dejaré caer y regalaré mi piano de pared. Estoy bien si estás tú.
It's really just such a romance song, but I think she is talking to God. I'm gonna listen to God. It sounds like God is telling her to throw away her Jimmy Choos. Again, this personification, this humanizing thing with God that's happening. Like, imagine God being a stalker and telling you to throw away your Jimmy Choos. Like, it's such a cool concept. And she's mentioning porcelain again. Before, it was her porcelain skin. I think again we're having the translation thing happen where it says fall, dejaré caer. I feel like, and I could be wrong, native Spanish speakers, please let me know. I feel like this is saying I'm gonna drop my porcelain, like I'm gonna break it, as in I don't need it anymore. Because she's really just disposing of all the material things in favor of this really sweet love with God, potentially.
Si hoy estás tú, yo beberé Sauvignon Blanc a tu lado. Mi futuro será dorado y ya no tengo miedo del pasado. En el fondo es un Dios en mi Sauvignon Blanc a tu lado. Mi futuro sé bien que será dorado.
That is hella impressive. Ah, there's some clapping in the background. Okay, so it was just a really sweet song singing to God. There was no jump scare. I was on edge waiting for the jump scare, but it never came. It was really beautiful towards the end there. Like, her voice is just really impressive. She has insane control over it. Okay, next song. La Rumba del Perdón. The rumba, which is, I believe, a type of flamenco of forgiveness. So we've already talked about revenge. Are we now going to talk about the other option, which is forgiveness, potentially?
Tú y tu compadre de corazón, inseparables, pero algo pasó. Había un kilo sin corte en tu cajón.
The way this is recorded, the guitar is coming through so clear, so snappy on my headphones. It's really satisfying.
Tú y tu compadre de corazón, inseparables, pero algo pasó. Había un kilo sin corte en tu cajón y de pura envidia alguien te lo robó. Es tu mejor amigo, el que tocaba la guitarra. ¿Qué
Rumba.
será lo que pasó? Que de golpe la guitarra ya no sonaba y ni sonaba el teléfono. No sería tan amigo cuando aflojó las cuerdas de la guitarra. De las primeras al bordón, y ahí dentro metió el kilo, y igual que el kilo, él también desapareció.
Those voices in the back, so classic.
Igual que el kilo, él también desapareció.
Okay, let's just check these translations. Don't know if you guys have read these already. Oh, what is it talking about? Is this like a kilo of drugs hidden in the cajon, like that box that's the percussion instrument used in flamenco? So this sounds like betrayal. I guess he wasn't that good a friend and he disappeared. I'm still not hearing any forgiveness in this song, but let's see.
También desapareció, pero yo todito te
Anger.
lo perdono. Todito te lo perdono. Todito te lo perdono. Todito te lo perdono.
Just that melody is so satisfying. She's saying, I forgive you, and yet the music doesn't sound like we're forgiving, even though the chorus is saying, I forgive. I forgive you for all of it. The music sounds like we're out for revenge, like that minor sounding melody. I'm gonna leave this up for the rest of the story.
Cuando dijiste voy a bajar por tabaco, mirando a los ojos a tu hija menor, le prometiste que no tú estarías de vuelta y nunca volviste a cruzar el umbral de la puerta por la que te fuiste. Pero yo sé que tú eres pa' mí, yo sé que tú eres pa' mí, yo sé que tú eres pa' mí, yo sé que vendrás a mí. Dice en la calle que tú eres pa' mí, dice quien sabe que tú eres pa' mí, se dice en la plaza que tú eres pa' mí, dile a tu madre que tú eres pa' mí. Que no tiene sangre metida en la...
The translation here is not translating toito. So I'm just going to do a quick Google search. What is toito? Ah, diminutive of todo, as in everything. Okay. I know in English we don't really have diminutives that we use in this way, but languages that do have diminutives have really nuanced moments where they choose to use them. And usually there's like an additional layer of meaning. It can sometimes be a way to say it more politely. It can sometimes be a way to say it more casually, more sweetly, and sometimes it could potentially be sarcastic as well, or have, I don't know, I feel like there's something here, the fact that it is the diminutive that is being used, and it's not todo, like I forgive todo, I forgive toito. There's like a little something extra there. There's a reason that this is being used that would be cool to understand a bit more. So if we have Spanish speakers in the comments, let me know what you think that sort of that added layer of meaning here is. Because if we're reading the music here, it does not, to me, sound like forgiveness music. This sounds like angry revenge music. So maybe there's something here that is holding the extra meaning. It's not just I forgive you, but there's something more to the story.
Penas. Primero viene el veneno y luego la pena. La que piensas que puede escaparse del plan divino. El que le está gritando del quinto al cuarto a su vecino. La que siempre está dando muela y en habladuría.
Just to stop and appreciate, love how there's a reference to a divine plan, and then directly after just this very everyday, normal, like the most worldly of images being painted, and somehow all this imagery, all this, like, there's so much different things going on all at once. And I mean, I guess that's life, right? Like, if you believe in something greater than us, something spiritual, something divine, that does coexist with the everyday life. Like, even if you are shouting from the 5th floor down to your neighbor, divine energy is still present somewhere. It's like all happening all at once.
Es que nunca dice lo que piensa aunque debería. El que me dejó a mí antes que dejar su botella. El que se muerde los puños de rabia y la rabia la muerde a ella. Cuando el poder pesa más que el amor. Cuando...
Really cool interactions in this album, right? This is one that's a woman who is expressing rage, and the rage is also biting her.
Miedo está en ti y el deseo a tu alrededor. El que mató a puñalas y el pulso ni le tembló. Clava el cuchillo tan hondo que lo perdió. El que tiene alma de santo pero sigue pecando.
Just need to cut back this line. He stabbed so deep, he lost the knife. That is wild, 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 wild. And then this line, the one with a saint's soul but keeps on sinning, reminds me of that character wearing the cross and not being free of sin.
Cuando has mentido por mentir o has mentido por tu verdad. Cuando has querido más de lo que Dios te ha querido dar. Anudar y desanudar, desnudarse y desnudar. Para hacerlo como se debe. 3 cosas necesitarás. Fuego en las manos, ternura en los ojos y a mí presente en el lugar. Técnicamente eso sería un trío, pero si solo miro no contará.
More than anything, it does feel like a song about sinning. Some might say there's a sinner in this story. There's abandonment of a child happening, another sinner here. I wonder if God is the one sort of welcoming in the sinners with his forgiveness and sort of saying, I know you will come back to me. You are meant for me. Like I'm here for you, for the sinners. There is kind of a beauty there and a sort of acceptance. And I would believe it if the music didn't sound so angry. So if this is God saying, I will forgive you, he's sort of saying the words that are taught in Christianity, that, this idea that God will accept you if you come back. It doesn't matter how much you have sinned. There will always be a genuine, pure acceptance from God. But this song is humanizing God once again. And through the music, perhaps through that little word, toito, like playing with a diminutive, like these little signs. Through these signs, the song seems to be suggesting maybe God is not so perfectly accepting and forgiving, but maybe he too, like humans do, can hold on to some rage, some resentment. And I don't know why I'm appreciating this so much. It feels kind of rebellious, a little revolutionary to be humanizing God so much and taking these ideas and ideals that we have when we think of a saint or a god and we idealize people. And she's very much grounding everything, grounding all of that and saying, hey, like even the most divine, even the greatest of the omnipotent could potentially also be human. And maybe an interesting note is, I was saying before, like maybe I project certain things on Rosalía. I know I went like this before, like I was praising a sort of God in a really interesting parallel sort of way. Rosalía is reminding me as well that she is human. I can make all the jokes I want about how she's just out of this world and insanely genius, like beyond all humans. But this is a really cool reminder that even the figures that we view in that way can be imperfect, they can be complex, and they too have certain limitations. So really cool song. I kind of want to go back and like appreciate the music here more at some point. Memória, memory.
Ainda te lembras de mí. Ainda sabes de onde eu vi. Que sou esta que aqui estou. Diz-me no meu olhar triste que alguma memória existe e ainda sabes quem sou. Diz-me se ainda tropeço, se me alegro, se agradeço, ou se ainda sei cantar. Recorda-me, por favor, alguma coisa, o que for, que eu não consigo lembrar.
So I believe this is Portuguese. This is the fado. I hope I'm saying that right. I know it's spelled fado, but I think it's pronounced fado. Singer here. Oh, really, really beautiful Portuguese kind of music here. It feels like wind blowing, doesn't it? There's something almost ethereal, something airy, very airy about this way of singing. Let's take a look at these lyrics. Do you still remember me? Is this God again? In which case, wow. These are raising the question. Wow, God is uncertain whether you still remember him. You think that God would just know the answers to these questions, right? But no, God is asking. And God has a sad look. So feeling a lot of emotions. God feels a lot as we humans do, at least on this album. And I guess I'm assuming that God is talking. That's just the first thing that came to me, but I mean it could be any sort of relationship. I mean it feels very human. It could easily be human.
Vem comigo pela cidade, diz-me com sinceridade se tu te lembras de mim. Onde cresci, amei, com quem vivi e me dei, ou se a algo eu pus fim. Será que tu me conheces? Que o tempo passa e não esqueces quem eu fui e sou, enfim.
God.
Oh, meu doce coração, diz-me se sabes ou não, ainda te lembras de mim. Siempre que me acuerdo de algo, siempre lo recuerdo un poco diferente. Y sea como se hace recuerdo, siempre es verdad en mi mente. Y si mi alma se derrama en la falta de pasado, es el olvido. Cuando muera solo pido no olvidar lo que viví. Será que tu me conheces? Que o tempo passa e não esqueces quem eu fui e sou, enfim. Oh, meu doce coração, diz-me se sabes ou não, ainda te lembras de mim.
Oh, this one was deeply, deeply, deeply moving for me. There was a part here, I think it was in this chorus, where the voice was coming out in a really deeply pained way. Like the kind of pain that is just from the absolute deepest possible place inside of you. And to be asking the question, do you still remember me from that deep and pained place is really powerful. And here, just really acknowledging mortality and the question that I think we all, on some level, maybe on a deep level for some people, maybe on a really conscious level for other people, we do struggle with this sort of question of what sort of happens when we do go, and who will remember us, and what is it that we have lived that others will either remember or potentially forget. Like there's so much existential fear and anxiety in this. And if we're just going with what I thought of at the start of the song, that maybe God, maybe this is a conversation with God, maybe the human is acknowledging their mortality and speaking to God, or maybe God is acknowledging their mortality, or at the very least God is sort of acknowledging that as omnipresent, as all powerful as God is, there will always be that risk that people may either not know that God is there or may not remember God. And this song is introducing this concept that this might be making God very sad to be sitting with these existential worries that we all sit with on some level. That's incredibly moving. I don't know, I did not expect this level of existential questioning to be happening right now. I'm wow, like wow. Really powerful. This one really hit me. Really hit me for some reason. Okay, are we ready for the last song? Are you ready? I don't know if I'm ready. Ideally, I need like 10 breaths before I can go to the next song. So give me a second. I might cut out my breathing. Okay. I think I'm ready. Prove me wrong. Woodwind instrument.
Dicen que si vieras pasar a tu lado la muerte en la Mercedes, la que se alarga, te da buena suerte. Todos habéis venido, hasta mis enemigos hoy lloran.
Everyone, and it's not even everyone, she's saying, you guys have all come, even my enemies. Today, they're crying. The enemies, they're crying at the funeral, I guess. Yeah. If you were to see death pass by your side in that long Mercedes. Just in one little verse, she's touching on all these themes that we've already seen in the album: the materialistic, the abstract, the emotions, the potential forgiveness versus resentment, revenge, also mortality.
Tírame magnolias, tírame magnolias, tírame magnolias.
The way she's singing that G on throw magnolias onto me, I guess is what she's saying at my funeral. The way she sings it, it's almost like she's taking a little breath in the middle of the word.
Tírame magnolias, tírame magnolias, tírame magnolias, tírame magnolias.
That's the kind of really subtle detail that is so specific to an individual's voice and accent and also artistic choice in a certain moment. This is the kind of human, beautiful, creative thing that I was talking about at the very start that AI could never replicate. You know, AI could definitely not make this album, I'll tell you that. But these like little details in her voice, it's so refreshing to me to see. There's something about maybe this year that has gone by, just the age that we live in. I just find myself appreciating the human details so much. Really interesting use of voices and melodies in this part. I'm just saying what's coming to mind here. I'm sure there are a million different interpretations, but there seem to be different voices singing different melodies in different rhythms. And with this setting of being at a funeral, and it sounds like many people are gathered at this funeral, I wonder if there's something symbolic here about how every individual is going to grieve in their own way. So every voice that we're hearing is just their own individual going about in their own rhythm with their own emotions, doing what they need to do in order to process a death and in order to grieve. I'm going to replay it. Also something that AI could just not replicate. Like there's humanity in that.
Sobre mi ataúd, que temes quemando rueda, lágrimas y goma se derriten la madera, gasolina y vino tinto, puros y chocolates, bailando con amor encima de mi cadáver.
Wait. This imagery she's evoking, whoa, she's evoking so much imagery and so many emotions. The idea of dancing with love on top of a corpse. Usually we say like dancing on someone's grave is not usually an act of love. Oh, this idea of mocking fate. What I didn't do in life, you do in my death. Just gonna go back because the instrumentation here.
Puros y chocolates, bailando con amor encima de mi cadáver.
The bells. The church bells. Just her voice, like it just from this line to this line to this line, how she's changing how her voice is evolving.
Bailando con amor encima de mi cadáver. Ay, se derrocha, burlando la suerte, y lo que no hice en vida, lo hacéis en mi muerte.
Oh my gosh.
Tírame magnolias, 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 tírame magn
I'm kind of glad that we read this line before we got to it. What I didn't do when I was alive, you are doing it when I am dead. The way the music helps make this hit 1,000 times harder than just reading the lyric. So sweet. This is incredible. This is incredible. This is where she just knows what she's doing musically, because here we have repetition and like we need the safety of this repetition where our brain sort of knows what to expect next for 8 lines, because our mind and our just like as a human, we need recovery time after this. So she's built this song in this way to drop the absolute bomb and then allow us to recover a little bit. So a really intentional work there. This is capturing something we feel throughout the whole album. God is descending from heaven and I am going up to heaven. So she's really directly evoking that imagery of the switch, of the contrast, the fact that a human can be divine and God can be human. Really, really powerful. We meet in the middle. Oh my gosh. She was pondering this question in the very first song, wasn't she? She was sort of wondering, how do you live in both the heavens and the earth? How do you kind of choose between the two? Do you start from one? If you start from one and you go up, can you come back? And here she's almost offering a solution, a compromise, really. She's saying, I, as a human, I'll become a little bit more divine if you, as a God, become a little bit more human. Wow, that is powerful. That is really powerful. Oh, that is really, 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 really powerful. We can get through it, guys. We can get through it. You know, this is, oh God. I mean, I'm struggling to find words, but this is one of the things that is like, this is true artistry. Like, this is what art at its very, very best is meant to do. It's meant to connect with us, to make us connect with it. No, I feel like I'm pulling a Rosalía there, where I'm like, art connects with me and I connect with art. I feel like she had a lot of those interactive lyrics throughout this album. But this is what art is meant to do, like make us ponder, make us question, raise these questions of what is up there, what is down here, is there a middle, how do we meet in the middle, how do we hold these really big existential questions. I just really want to make sure I'm not missing any of the lyrics here. A stab or two have taken from my life. She disarmed me. God, perhaps? And I'm grateful for it. Maybe life has disarmed me and I've received the stabs from life. As in, life has not been easy, okay? It's been stabbing me, it's disarmed me, She has disarmed me and she has humbled me. This is someone who's been really humbled by the life that they have lived. Throw brown sugar over my coffin. There's a sugar reference again. And stay awake until the light returns again. Sometimes death is described as asleep, but it's almost like she's referring to it as a different kind of awakeness. Promise that you'll protect me and my name in my absence. I cannot read the rest of this out loud without getting very emotional. This part does feel like if she was talking to God before, this one feels like she's talking to us, right? To the world, to her loved ones, to her fans, to us, right? Once again touching on that existential worry that is so human, so universal to have, that worry of what happens when I'm gone, like who will remember me. And she's asking to be remembered. And also, before we play the rest of this song, it's kind of that response maybe to that, the question from the previous song about will you remember me, the anxiety that I interpreted as her as Rosalía putting on God, as God's anxiety around being remembered. And in this song, it very much feels like the human flavored, the human version of that anxiety around being remembered.
Y me desarmó y yo le estoy agradecida y lanzará azúcar moreno sobre mi ataúd. Quedaros despiertos hasta que vuelva otra vez la luz. Promete que me protegerá.
In the translation, stay awake does not have a clear subject, but in this version, she's talking to the plural you, like you all stay awake until the light returns again. So these are instructions to the you, like the plural, you all, us, the people at her funeral. She's saying, you, these are my instructions. You please throw the sugar on my coffin and stay awake until the light returns.
A mí y a mi nombre, mi ausencia. Yo que vengo de las estrellas, hoy me convierto en polvo para volver con ella.
Oh, okay. I will say that the moment I was predicting at the start, where I sort of said I cannot promise you that I won't be stunned into silence, I think that moment has arrived with this song. I don't know if it's Rosalía giving me permission, or if there is a God that can give me this permission, or if maybe I can just give my this permission to myself to just like let this be for what it is right now, this song, and just allow myself to not have anything to add, like anything other than just to say this album. How do you even begin to use words? Like my human resources are not enough to express, to capture, to describe like this absolute moving and out of this world masterpiece. Just wow. Like, wow. And you know, sometimes I am so guilty of this. Sometimes we use certain words in our everyday life, like amazing and incredible, and we can use them for like the tiniest of things. Like, I'm sure you have already heard me use words like that for maybe little jokes in songs, or little moments where I'm like, oh, amazing. But this is the kind of moment where I think those kinds of words need to be ideally reserved for. Like, this is the kind of thing that is amazing. And when we use amazing, we overuse amazing for all this other stuff, then we run out of words to use to describe this. You know what I mean? Like, this album uh mm, I was gonna say 10 out of 10, but that's like cheap. That feels cheap to try to assign any sort of numerical thing to this. Like, this is beyond numbers, this is beyond humans. She has managed to capture something really just beyond, just beyond. Thank you for joining me. If you've watched all the way until the end, I'm very, very impressed. Thank you for being here. I will listen to this more. Share all of your thoughts. I want to know what kind of impact this album has had on you. I want to read your comments. I love reading your comments. And once I've read them and I've listened more and I've digested, I will make a discussion video, and I'm not going to hold myself to a certain time frame with it because I do want to take my time and digest this album. I don't want to rush and say, you know, there will be a discussion video in 1 week's time. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to allow myself to understand this album more with time. I think it will take time. I think this kind of work requires a lot of time. So at some point in the future, my intention is to make a discussion video. If you are watching this from way far into the future, I will probably try to link the discussion video in the description and probably up here in the little thing. And once again, thank you for being here. This was a really special experience. Thank you for sharing it with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you in the next video.